Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. By now you've probably heard that New York AG Letitia James and 20 other attorneys general have written a letter about the diversion of military grade ammunition to civilians from the Lake City ammunition plant. Well, for one, that's kind of the whole point. Read the Second Amendment. For two, anytime somebody says that what I have is military grade, I'm a little bit offended. This is much better than military grade ammo. This is much better than a military grade rifle. So the whole thing is kind of funny to me. These attorneys general have no idea what they're talking about. And for two, they don't understand how the system works. But we're going to talk about that today, so make sure you're subscribed. When I said that's kind of the point, and I said read the Second Amendment, it's because the Second Amendment literally says that the government can't infringe on our rights to keep and bear arms. And the whole point of it is that we, the people, have the same capabilities as the military. So for Letitia James and all these other attorneys general from 20 states to be so scared that civilians might be getting military grade ammo, well, that's the whole point. And it's only military grade because 5.56 just happens to be the cartridge that the military uses. They also use 9mm, which, those are like the two most popular ammunition calibers, both in the military because they're NATO cartridges, but also for civilians. And there's lots of reasons for that. They're produced in mass quantities, and so they're widely available. And part of that availability is because of Lake City. So the Lake City ammo plant produces about 40% of the 5.56 that is available to the civilian public. And so if they weren't producing that for us, that would be a huge chunk out of the 5.56 market. Now, they think that 5.56 is such a scary caliber. It's not a very big round compared to most hunting ammunition. It's relatively small and underpowered. Now, I'm not saying that this won't do some damage and that it's not effective, because it absolutely is. But that's the whole point. We are supposed to be able to have the same capabilities as the military. In fact, if the Second Amendment was really followed the way that it should be, honestly, we should be able to have select fire rifles. But that is neither here nor there for the purposes of this video. What's ironic is that they don't really know what they're talking about. These attorneys general that are, like I said, just so scared of us civilians being able to have military grade ammo. Now, the whole military grade thing is funny to me. And they obviously don't understand what that means, because there are a lot of other ammunition companies that produce 5.56. They just happen to produce it specifically for civilians. Whereas the Lake City plant produces a lot of it for the government as well, for the military. But the whole thing is that they're a regular ammunition manufacturer. They just happen to have gotten the contract for the military. And so when they have an overrun, that gets sold to the public. And what it does is that actually helps subsidize the plant. It helps them make money. It helps the whole system run so that they can produce ammo for the military. It's not the other way around. And I'm not going to read the whole letter. There's plenty of other channels that have done that. I'm just going to give you my perspective on it. But I think that it's funny that they think that this ammunition is being diverted to the public like it's OxyContin. Remember that whole thing? It just kind of started this whole opioid epidemic. Well, it was supposed to be a prescription painkiller, and a lot of it was diverted to the streets. Drug dealers were selling it to people. People were abusing it. A lot of people got addicted. Again, not really the topic of what we do on this channel, but that's what diversion is. What's going on at Lake City is not diversion. This has been going on forever. It's part of what makes it work. An ammunition manufacturer would not want to have the Lake City contract if they couldn't also make ammunition to sell to the general public. It wouldn't work financially for them. At least I don't think it would. And I know the military buys a lot of ammo, but so do you and I. I go shooting probably a lot more often than most people that are active in the military. Maybe I'm wrong about that too, but I don't know. I go shooting like every weekend. I'm sure a lot of you guys do as well. What I think is funny though is that military grade ammunition is literally just full metal jacket rounds. M855, M193. These hollow point rounds are going to do more damage than a full metal jacket round. So the whole military grade ammunition thing is pretty ridiculous. And they talk about different mass shootings that have happened, and that somehow these would have been prevented if people couldn't get their hands on Lake City ammo. Like they couldn't just go get PMC or some other kind of brand of ammo. Honestly, I buy a lot of ammo, and it's very rarely from the Lake City ammunition plant. Ammo is available. But that's one more thing that I want to get to in this video is ammunition availability. So if they are successful at what they're trying to do, and they stem the flow of military grade 5.56 from the Lake City plant into the hands of civilian American gun owners, well, that'll cut our ammunition supply by 40% unless other manufacturers are able to step up and fill that hole in the market, which would take time. We've already got this thing going on where ammunition prices were supposed to start going up as of the first of the year. I haven't seen it yet, which is good. We're about halfway through January at this point. But that's also something where I don't want you guys to get ripped off. Just because you may have heard this a lot of places, including from my channel, understand that when ammunition prices go up, they're going to go up gradually. And they're talking about 10 to 12% increase. So say you buy $100 worth of ammo, it would now be $110. So really, a $20 box of ammo should only be like an extra $1. So don't go let yourself get ripped off. If you find people jacking up the prices of ammo right now by a wide margin, they're literally just trying to capitalize on people's fears that they won't be able to get ammo. Fears that have been true in the past at times. Never really true though. I've never not been able to get ammo. It's just that at certain times it has become a little more scarce. So you've kind of had to take what you could get instead of maybe picking your favorite brand or something. And it has gotten more expensive. Think back during COVID. The thing is that these anti-gun leftist lunatics want to do anything they can to disarm the American public. And if they can't legally take our guns away, well then they're going to go after the ammunition. This has nothing to do with mass shootings. It has nothing to do with their perceived diversion of military-grade ammunition from the Lake City plant. It's just one piece of their game to disarm us. And you have to wonder why they would want to disarm us. Almost all gun owners are peaceful people. We don't want to commit violence on anyone. We just want to be able to protect our families and our homes and ourselves. And you've got to think, the Second Amendment was written for a very specific reason. Why would the government want to disarm us? That's a scary thing. And we need to do everything we can to not let that happen. And part of that is making videos like this, getting the word out on things. I'm sure if you guys watch this channel, you watch other channels that talk about similar things, and that's good. Information is very important, and we're in an information age where we have all the information in the world at our fingertips, literally on our phones, which is a great thing because we can communicate to each other about this kind of stuff. But people like this, we need to vote them out of office. Elections are coming up again. In fact, a very big election in 2024. And it is very important to vote for the right people. Do your research. Make sure you're not voting for anybody that has ever done anything to disarm the American public. Because if they are, they have ulterior motives, and those people cannot take office. We've had enough of our rights trampled on, and I'm sick of it, and we can't let this happen anymore. So do your part. Make sure you vote. When I was younger, I never voted. I thought it didn't matter. I thought all politicians were scum. And why would I vote for one piece of scum versus the other? Well, it does matter. And even if you're voting for the lesser of two evils, if that lesser of two evils believes in upholding your right to keep and bear arms versus someone that doesn't, then that is worth voting for. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like, subscribe, leave me a comment what you think about this down below. And from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.